Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and I'd like to welcome you out to our Cellercise meeting. Though we have a lot of people tuning in right now, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to go ahead and turn the time over to David Hall, creator and inventor of the Cellerciser. So let's give it up for David Hall.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. Thanks for being here. One of the things I always like to do is ask people, what do they want to accomplish in their own physical health? Most of us know people today in this world that have back problems or knee problems, digestion elimination problems, weight loss issues, balance issues, headaches. I'm going to share a program with you tonight that is going to redefine the way that you look at exercise. We've been taught for years that we have to we bought into the idea for years that you have to tear down to build up. You heard that? No pain, no gain. Hopefully that's out the door now. You've got to do 20 minutes of aerobics to get a good aerobic activity, like our cells have watches, and 20 minutes means anything to a cell. Or what are some of the others? No pain, no gain, tear down to build up. Heard that one? Tear down to build up. That doesn't even make sense, tear down to build up. But we can do it. The fitness industry has capitalized on us thinking in terms of the body as muscle groups and body parts, right? You've heard of the wedges, abdominal boards, rowers, ski toners, porta bike, fitness climbers, stairmasters, health riders, Nordic track, human airlines, life cycle, life force, stomach cruncher, thigh masters, ab blasters, solo flex, treadmill, cyclones, body gyms, total gyms, torso track, bow flex, gazelles. The list goes on and on. And as long as we buy into that methodology, we can rest assured every 6 months or so, the fitness industry will find another way of packaging another piece of exercise equipment to motivate you to add to your ongoing collection. Because that's how they make their money. But the principle upon which every single piece of exercise equipment is based is exactly the same. They all work by applying weight or stress to a certain part, function, or muscle group over and over until they adapt by becoming stronger. Well, what if, instead of lifting weight away from gravity over and over, which limits the effect to the muscle doing the lifting, but what if instead of lifting weight away from gravity, we could increase the weight of gravity on every single muscle, every single cell in your body over 100 times a minute, strengthening all of your muscles all at the same time from the inside out. 75 trillion cells flexing instead of a few muscle groups can burn a lot of calories. Reduce body fat, firm your legs, thighs, hips, and buttocks, strengthen your arms, increase agility, improve balance, rhythm, timing, dexterity, hand-eye coordination, provide an aerobic activity for your cardiovascular system, and rejuvenate your body when you're tired. But it's a program that goes well beyond that. It's being featured now more and more in health magazines, books, and articles as being, what I'm going to share with you, as being effective in helping to lower high blood pressure, helping to reverse hardening of the arteries, helping to lower elevated cholesterol and triglyceride levels. That stimulates the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system, helps to detoxify the liver, improve kidney circulation, digestion, elimination, increase oxygen blood flow to the brain, being used by a number of ophthalmologists today to help revitalize vision, but it goes beyond that. It's a program, the only one I believe, that can claim to be an isometric for toning, but it doesn't tone from the outside in, it tones from the inside out. When muscles get weak, they sag, don't they? When internal organs get weak, they drop. We often think that has something to do with age. Well, I'm 58 years of age. I don't lift weights, I'm not a bodybuilder. I do a 10-minute-a-day routine. I had a lady who wrote me a beautiful testimonial. She said, David, as I was hitting midlife, I felt like everything was headed south. She said, now that I've been doing your program, I feel like everything's headed north again. So it's an isometric that tones from the inside out. It's an isotonic, it's weight bearing. But the weight's not limited, it's on the entire muscular and skeletal system to build up muscle mass and bone density. It's calisthenic for targeting. You can target specific areas of your body: thighs, knees, back, hips, waist, arms, shoulders, the face, the natural face, digestion, elimination, smooth muscles. But even though you're targeting those specific areas, the rest of the body is still working over 100 times a minute, and that's unique. So it's calisthenic, it's aerobic for conditioning, and it's a flexibility program without ever having to stretch. And this is a program that can be done in just 10 minutes a day, the whole thing. In the convenience of your own home, at the office, or while you're traveling. You don't have to change your clothes, and you don't have to break out into a sweat in order to enjoy its benefits. Sweating has nothing to do with that exercise. It just means the body's overheating, and that's how it cools itself down. So that's a lot of benefits. And what if it can be done in just 10 minutes a day? Would that be of interest to anybody? Yeah, it was to me. I started doing it, and in 1 month I dropped a belt notch, And one month, my wife asked me, "Are you lifting weights? Your arms are bigger." And I said, "No, I'm just playing on this thing before I go to work." After 6 months, I had a whole different physique, and everybody was asking me, "What are you doing?" So I started teaching them. Well, I was invited to speak before Rotary clubs, Lions, Kiwanis, senior citizen centers. I did that for about 6 months, woke up one day and said, "Why am I selling insurance?" I gave up the insurance practice and took this out on the road and reignited an industry. But what I'm going to share with you today is not science fiction, it's science fact. But this isn't the exercise of the past. I call it the exercise of the future. We just make it available today. Now, I asked earlier if anybody had knee problems, hip problems, back problems, digestion, elimination, circulation problems, sleep problems, headaches, balance issues, bladder control, want to flatten, tighten, and tone. We have women who've gotten rid of cellulite in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. They've written me beautiful testimonials on it. Is there a market for that? Are there people out there that that would really like to lose weight or would like to work on building up the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knees so they don't have to have knee surgery or back surgery? Or we've helped so many people. The skeletal system can't support itself. It is dependent upon the muscles and ligaments supporting the joints. And when they get compromised, either through injury or weaknesses, we get too much pressure on the joints, we'll end up with joint problems eventually. Impact sports, jogging, hitting a hard surface over and over. Accumulatively, the effect is going to be far more detrimental than it's ever going to be beneficial, accumulatively. But if you like to do it, I'm going to show you a way that you can increase at least the longevity and the ability to be able to do that without as much detriment. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Again, I'm not a bodybuilder. Do we have a doctor, health practitioner, physical therapist, anybody in here like that? All right, Kim, come on up here for that.
Okay.
I'm going to illustrate kind of what this is. Now, when you tear down to build up, and we're the only species in the world that is bought into the current methodology of exercise. You won't see a dog, cat, or monkey out there pumping iron weights or doing some of these insane programs that you see on television. And yet they're very strong and they're very healthy. I don't do those insane things either. But when you tear down to build up, you build a hard muscle. They tell you to do it every other day because the body literally has to heal itself. And those muscles, those acids that you're building within the cell tissue itself as it's repairing itself, creates a harder muscle. In fact, it compromises, and if you take it to extremes, significantly can compromise your flexibility, timing, speed, and coordination. But I want you to take your fingers, Kim. I want you to squeeze that muscle. Just
Right.
squeeze it. Really squeeze it. Squeeze it hard. See how soft that is? It's isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's very pliable.
It's very, very, very soft. In fact, if you look at a cat or a dog, and you look at their muscles when they're relaxed, it's just like that. They're just extremely soft muscles. It's like, where's the muscle? It feels kind of blubbery. I've had thousands of people feel these muscles because I can't fake this. If what I was saying wasn't true, I'd be a dead giveaway. If I was tearing down to build up, you would know because the muscle would not be like that. It'd be soft. But feel it when I flex it, it's normal.
Well, good.
Not normal,
Nice.
strong, healthy muscle.
Nice, good muscle.
Thanks, Kim. I'll call you back up in a minute. But the point I'm making is that if we follow the current methodology of exercise, it takes a lot more time, it's not as convenient, and it can damage the body if we're not careful. And there's a lot of people who know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about a different methodology. And this is what I call my portable gym or Cellerciser. Notice it is portable. It was designed for that purpose. This has been around the world a number of times. This is Darren Hoag's personal unit. My unit I left in my car, so I forgot it. But to open this, real simple. You just grab it and pop it out. That's what it looks like. Lay it down on the ground. Open it up. Literally in less time than it takes me to put on a pair of tennis shoes, I'm ready to begin Cellercise. Now, many people mistakenly believe they can find something like this at a Sears, Kmart, or sporting goods store. Unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth, and it is important you understand why. When I entered the industry back in the late 80s, early 90s, virtually every unit on the market that was being produced was utilizing a little tube spring. Too many pockets. The little tube springs were putting the weight on the two ends of the spring, and what would end up happening is that you would jump on it and the spring would stretch and then stop very abruptly. The abrupt jarring effect was very detrimental. In fact, that's how people could hurt themselves, and often did, especially if they were in a compromised position when they jarred their body. These springs will stretch a little bit, stop at the very end of the stretch, and the abrupt jar was so severe it often would break the spring, but it could damage the person using it. My dad was permanently disabled in 1995 after attempting to do my exercises on a typical rebounder. It did not support him. And so I introduced a tapered spring design, which has a larger diameter in the middle and then gradually tapered on both ends. And that allowed the body to decelerate and accelerate without jar. Totally different feel. Well, it was great while we had a good quality spring. But everybody else in the market started coming out with tapered spring designs. And the problem was in the quality of the steel. When the steel is too weak, people step on it, they just sink, their feet pronate, it doesn't give them support or the response that they need, and that can lead to ankle problems, knee problems, lower back problems. So I had to separate myself from the industry, and we created and patented what we call the triple-tiered Triflex spring. It's a spring that has a larger diameter in the middle with a ridge and a taper, and then another ridge where it tapers toward the last two coils. What that does is it helps to focus the weight toward the center of the spring, which is what we want. If you need more spring, because you weigh more, you're jumping higher, then it graduates through the next ridge and tier and so forth, so that it gives you the kind of support and response that you need. Now, there's other units out there on the market. Some of them use bungee cords, rubber bands. For most people, it's common sense. Rubber bands will warm up, and the moment they warm up, they lose their resistance and they become sluggish. And for exercise purposes, I don't recommend them. Because again, it can cause, and generally does, pronation of the feet, which can cause ankle problems, knee problems, more back problems. So we use steel, and the quality of our steel is the best we've been able to create. We had to create a tungsten steel mold to produce the spring or the wire because the steel was destroying conventional spring molds. So we have a special mat material. This is not canvas nylon or plastics like you can find on typical rebounders. Canvas, nylon, and plastic mats look the same, but the mat stretches with the spring. And when the mat itself is stretching, your feet will turn in or pronate again. You don't have the support on the foot. If you alter the angle of your body and you come down and the foot rolls on you, well, that can be very detrimental. So we use a mat material where every fiber, it's a polypropylene, where every fiber is put under nearly 200 tons of pressure. It's space age. You leave it out in the sun, the rain, the snow, it doesn't matter. It's all weather resistant. They make swimming pool covers out right now. It's UV resistant. I use it because it supports your feet. The springs do not connect directly into the frame, so we never wear the frame out. We drill 36 holes through the frame, put steel pins through it, connect the springs to the pins. The frame will last virtually forever. The legs don't screw down or screw on, so they don't get stripped, stuck, or lost. These fit over steel posts held in place by heavy-duty channel wire. Even the rubber tips aren't typical rubber. They're polymer. They last for years. We've never worn one out. Okay, we're ready to demonstrate Cellercise. This is going to change my Cellercise outfit. This is all you need. When I wake up in the morning, I'll get on the Cellerciser. And when I stand still, I weigh about 160 pounds. That's the weight of gravity. But when I start to move this high, just this high, if I had a scale underneath my feet, I would weigh closer to 200 pounds, or 1.25 Gs every time I come down at the bottom of the bounce. That increase of weight is not just here. It's on every single cell of the body, over 100 times a minute. That's every muscle, bone, connective tissue, ligament, tendon, skin, collagen, everything. Welcome to the group. So, what I want to do tonight is we're going to talk about specifics, but I want you to think in terms of somebody you know. Because this business, and what we're going to do with Cellercise, what we are doing with Cellercise, we are redefining exercise. We're taking it from the muscular level to the cellular level. It's based upon the premise that if your cells are stronger, healthier, and working more efficiently, your body parts and functions are also going to be stronger, healthier, and working more efficiently. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is I get on the Cellerciser. And have you ever noticed when you wake up in the morning, you kind of look in the mirror, your eyes might be a little puffy in the morning? Anybody ever notice that? Okay, I'll get on the Cellerciser, and in the first about 2 to 3 minutes, that puffiness will be gone. When you lay down at night, your fluid in your body, in the circulatory systems, it tries to find its natural equilibrium. And so you get all this water retention or fluid, it's going to move to your head, which is common. You get on a Cellerciser in the morning, you activate the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a circulatory system, and it holds a negative pressure, so movement causes suction. You get on a Cellerciser and you start to move up and down, millions of one-way valves in the body are opening and shutting, creating a vacuum system of suction. Now, the lymphatic system doesn't have a heart to keep it pumping. It is dependent upon pressure changes. So if we want a good, healthy immune system, we need to understand how that lymphatic system operates efficiently. It needs pressure changes. Well, as I'm moving up and down, these one-way valves are opening and shutting, millions of them. So in a few minutes, I create this circuit of movement of fluid through the whole body that's starting to flush out toxins, poisons, metabolic waste that accumulate within the body, increase circulation between bones and joints and tissue spaces of the body. And when you get that circulation going and moving, the puffiness goes away. So I do this for about 2 to 3 minutes, then I do my aerobics. Now, if you're, it has nothing to do with age. Is there anybody here over 7 years old?
70.
Anybody here over 7 years old?
We're all
No.
over
Over 7, yeah.
No. There's nobody here over 7 years old.
Oh, we're all here with this.
Uh-huh. And we need to remember that. Cells don't get old. They're always replacing themselves. But they get weak. And when cells get weak, body parts and functions get weak. When we strengthen and improve the efficiency of a cell, and we can do that at any age, we automatically begin to do the same thing with our body parts and functions. So 2 to 3 minutes of the baby bounce, and then I do, or health bounce. Then I do my aerobics. You can start off just by rocking side to side. Doesn't matter what your age is. If you're just standing or rocking side to side, you're working the hips. They're dropping into the mat. You're working the thighs and the knees. If you want to jog, you can just lift your knees up a little higher. We have a balance bar that attaches to the unit. You can hold onto it with both hands, or turn to the side and hold onto it with one hand, so you feel secure. And then just jog. If you want to tighten underneath the chin or the stomach more, slightly tilt. You can't do this on anything other than a Cellerciser. But when you tilt, you leverage the weight right here in the stomach muscles. And if you tilt your head back a little bit, you're working underneath the chin. But if you want to go faster, there's nothing to stop you from going fast. You do that for a few minutes, you'll have steam coming out of your eyeballs. It's very intense. But you eliminate up to 7/8 of the ballistic impact or jar to your skeletal system compared to running on a hard surface. So we've also helped to reduce or eliminate the concerns of ankle problems, knee problems, shin splints, and lower back problems. And we've replaced some of the negatives of aerobic activity with some of the more comfortable elements, such as being at home with the family, with the radio on, television, air conditioning, or heater. All right, and one size fits all feet. So we have people that are star basketball players with huge feet, as well as little babies and children. In fact, children do it naturally. We'll talk about that in a minute. So after I've done my aerobics, then I do my calisthenics. Now, when I started, one of my goals was to flatten my stomach. We've seen sit-ups. You've seen all these ab crunching machines. Very limited group of muscles within the stomach area. And, you know, they work by lifting your body weight away from gravity over and over. Okay, well, with Cellercise, we're not just working a small group of muscles. We're working all the way up and down the stomach wall. And we do that by tilting backwards a little bit. All these muscles tighten up automatically. And then rather than do a sit-up, we tilt and kick our legs out. Now this leverages a lot more weight here than just doing this here. And within, a few months, I began to see my stomach muscles again. So for a 58-year-old, not too bad. But this is it. This is my routine. Anybody have love handles? Anybody love them? Never understood why they call them that. I do not like these. And it took me a while to figure this one out. But you can hold on to the balance bar again, and from my hips, instead of doing something like this, which limits the effect only to a small group of muscles right here, we're going to work the whole body all at the same time. And we're going to leverage even more weight to get faster results. We'll hold on to the balance bar and kick out side to side. Every time I come down, I'm leveraging the weight right here. plus the rest of the body to strengthen the lower back and the buttocks, and it helps to lift, tighten, and tone the whole back side. You can hold on to the balance bar, lean forward. From my hips, I simply kick back. Simple. But every time I come down, I'm putting the weight right here. The second most important physical activity I teach people we can do, the most important is this every morning. Get rid of the stress, get rid of this tension, open up circulation. You look at babies when they're fussy. Instinctively, a mother takes a baby, puts them over their shoulder, and what do they do? Yeah, what does the baby do? Okay, I got good news and bad news. Bad news is we're too big to be put over somebody's shoulder. But the good news is we get on a Cellerciser every night for a few minutes and just relax, shoulders, back, and buttocks, and just gently move up and down. Do it for a few minutes and go directly to bed. You don't have to toss and turn to get rid of the stress or tension. Very relaxing. Okay. Next one. Oh, second most important. Improved digestion elimination processes. Our ability to absorb nutrients. Most of it is in the actual intestines. If they're compromised, and let's face it, we eat, most people in our culture today eat dead processed foods. And the dead processed foods are often filled with chemicals, preservatives, additives, different various elements that can irritate the inner lining of our intestinal wall. And when that happens, it becomes inflamed. And it ends up with a mucous membrane lining to try to protect itself. Well, in the process of that, we compromise our ability to absorb nutrients efficiently, and we can have digestion, elimination issues and problems. So it's very important we understand what we can do to help improve digestion elimination processes and target those areas of the body. And so this one movement here has improved many of us dramatically in our digestion elimination. And it's simply, does everybody eat every day pretty much? Okay, yeah, we do. So every day, I spread my feet apart a little bit, bend at the knee, hold on to the bar, lift the heels up and down. You're on the mat the whole time, but I put my intestines through a little washing machine. And it helps improve digestion elimination process. It loosens the lower back as well. You're not torquing, it's very gentle. And you're also taking the liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, the adrenals, and you're massaging them every day. Most people in 2 to 3 weeks begin to feel like a whole different person because the body parts and functions are working more efficiently again. When you live a static existence, you wake up every morning, you walk around, pretty much this is, you might sit down, stand up, but this is pretty much your day-to-day activity. Gravity's always pulling down. Internal organs and connective tissue surrounding them get weak, they drop. You're on a Cellerciser, you start to move up and down. What areas of your body are also moving up and down? They're all moving up and down. It's like taking a jar of water with a bunch of dirt clods in it. If all you do is walk around all day long, it's not going to do much. Go to sleep at night, wake up, take it with you. It doesn't do much. The moment you take that jar of water and those dirt clods and you start to do this, you're going to start to break up the dirt clods. Heavy metals, toxins, poisons, things that we've been exposed to. Open up circulatory channels, very important for good health. You know, it's interesting to note, anywhere in the world, and is there anybody here born with balance? You think balance has much of anything to do with age? It's a physiological function. We can improve it and we can lose it at virtually any age. And we can restore it and we can re-challenge our body. And if you're going through therapy, and the fluid movement past the stirrup up and down represents vestibular balance. Proprioceptors are constantly being challenged through different movements while you're on the Cellerciser. But you look at a baby, they stand up in the crib, anywhere in the world, they have a tendency to do what? Yeah, they bounce up and down. Tell me, does it end in the crib? No. They get out of the crib, they graduate. Now what do they jump on? The couch or the bed. And what do we do?
Tell them to stop.
Yeah, we kick them off. I tell people we knew better. Not only would we encourage them to do it, we'd be able to do it with them. Balance, rhythm, timing, dexterity, hand-eye coordination, the ability to learn and retain is all being involved through those different movements. But we do, we kick them off the couch to the bed and they begin to dance. You ever notice how young people dance? Bouncing off the walls, let alone the ground, aren't they? But we get to a certain age in our culture, most people stop bouncing up and down, at least in this culture. And we start to live this horizontal existence day after day, year after year. Even our dance becomes horizontal after a while. And we stop putting weight on the internal organs and connective tissues, so everything falls. One of the reasons boxers do a lot of jump roping is so it's weight bearing, so the connective tissues firm up and they become more resistant and they start to live the entire body from the inside out again. So again, this movement right here, up and down, is critical for that. But the pressure changes activate millions of one-way valves in the lymphatic system, which is what keeps us alive and healthy. And if the lymphatic system is compromised because of what we've been exposed to, because of stress, environmental conditions, we're going to be more subjected to illness or health concerns. The lymphatic system, I want to talk a little bit about it because it is important. It begins at the toes, fingertips, and other extremities of the body. Kind of like the branches of an oak tree working their way backwards toward the trunk. It works through larger branches and then to the trunk and then through the roots and back into the soil of the earth. Well, the lymphatic system begins in the lymphatic terminals also. They work their way up to other small branches toward the lymph nodes, where the lymphatic fluid is then cleaned. And then larger lymph vessels or branches carry the lymphatic fluid back up what's called the thoracic duct toward this largest lymph vessel, the trunk if you will, and in through the venous cava area through what's called the subclavian left vein or roots and then back into the bloodstream. There's nearly 3 times as much lymphatic fluid in your body as there is blood. So virtually all the cells of your body are surrounded by it. When the lymphatic system is circulating properly, it has the ability to flush or suck out the toxins, poisons, metabolic waste that accumulate within the body, which can lead to stress, distress, breakdown in communication, poor health, pre-aging, degenerative diseases, even death. Everybody know who or what a lymphocyte is? Okay. Everybody know who Captain Rambo is? Or Captain America is? I've done that more than once. Captain Rambo, no, that's a different one. Captain America. The lymphocytes are representative of the 1% of your cells, 1% of the cells of your body devoted to your civil defense. They're devoted to keeping you alive and healthy. So when the lymphatic system is circulating properly, these white blood cells can move through the body freely, seeking out and destroying the viruses, germs, bacteria, fungus, dead cells, mutant cells, cancerous cells, and other foreign invaders. Dr. Arthur C. Guyton, in his book, Medical Physiology, points out that if the lymphatic system were to stop circulating for just 24 hours, none of us would be here. We'd all be dead. So it's important we have good lymphatic circulation or lymphatic pump. And I was in California one year and the term lymphatic pump came up and I thought that's rather interesting. I asked for a show of hands if anybody can show me where the lymphatic pump is, because if the lymphatic system needs to be circulating well for us to be alive and healthy, I want to know where the pump is. Nobody can show me. And then I explained that the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It is dependent upon pressure changes. When you understand that, you begin to appreciate the dynamics every morning of what the Cellerciser can do. As millions of those one-way valves start to pump and start to pull and suck circulation through the tissue spaces and different areas of the body. Critical for good health. Okay, so 2 to 3 minutes of that. Then digestion, elimination. Weight loss. We have women who've gotten rid of cellulite in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. Do you think any woman out there might be interested in how to do that? We have men who have stomachs, and they ask me, how do I get rid of the stomach? They said, well, do you do sit-ups? All the time. I'm always doing sit-ups. You'll never get rid of your stomach doing that. You'll get strong stomach muscles that nobody can see. You gotta burn off the weight first. How do you do that? Well, there's 3 ways. You can stop eating, which I don't recommend. You can increase metabolism, or you can burn calories faster than taking them in by doing aerobic activities. The biggest muscles of the body are located where?
The legs.
Yeah, so most aerobic exercises harness the thighs and the buttocks. Well, what I'm going to show you right now, you cannot do on anything other than a Cellerciser, or you could really hurt yourself. But this is extremely effective. I had another doctor take one look at, I call it the Jamba run. He took a look at the Jamba run. He said, David, that's so intense, it'll grow new capillaries. And he's probably right, because white adipose tissue is simply fat that's accumulated within the body. The body's lost circulation to that area, and so it just sits there. They generate heat, and there's all kinds of different ways that they try to treat it with Band-Aids and whatnot. But until we get to the cause of the problem, we're going to continually have to deal with the problem. So let's improve circulation. This is how we do it. And this is something we all develop a love-hate relationship with. We love this. It's awesome. We hate it. It's tough. But you hold on to the balance bar, keep your back straight, your feet flat, you bend at the knee, and you're going to run as fast as you can. And you can start off with the Jamba walk. You just walk in place. But you're going to run as fast as you can without lifting your feet up off the mat. You're pushing down into the mat. And you won't last 20 seconds. It is absolutely amazing without feeling the burn. You will feel it. It goes just like this. So if you do this watching television and you do repetitions of it, the women who got rid of their cellulite in 2 to 3 weeks, they were doing repetitions of that 20 minutes a night watching Friends on TV. When you're done with the first set, you stand there, lift the heels up and down. It works the calf muscle. Do you know the weakest area of circulation in our body is in the lower extremities? Because it's the furthest area from our heart. We have a tendency to develop edema, swelling, and varicose veins. When we lift the heels up and down, we work the calf muscle, which flexes and pumps circulation as we are pumping circulation right back up to the heart, helping reduce swelling, improve circulation in the lower extremities. That's important. For the hips, inner outer thigh, lateral knee, both sides of the knee, we stand on one side of the mat, we step across to the other side. We step back and forth. And you hold on to the bar and just side to side. You're working hips, thighs, both sides of the knee. If you want to get more intense, you sit down a little further, or if you want to go skiing, this is the same burn feeling you would have if you were on the slopes. It keeps the thighs and the knees in good condition. Okay, so headaches. Lady wrote me a beautiful testimony. She said, David, she called me up. She heard me on the radio, and she says, can I use the Cellerciser? I said, tell me your story. I asked her, I said, can you walk? She says, not really. I'm bedridden. I'm on IVs. I've had migraine headaches since 1958. She was on all kinds of drugs. She had a tremor disease. She couldn't hold a glass of water steady. I said, you're welcome to try it. Use it for 30 days, and if it doesn't work, return it. But you're going to need somebody to help you get on and off it. So she uses it for 30 days, and I don't hear from her. 60 days, I didn't hear from her. 90 days go by. I get a 2-page handwritten letter from her. Beautiful letter, beautiful handwriting. And she tells me in that letter that for the first time since 1958, she is totally migraine-free. She's off all pain medications. Her tremor disease is gone. And for the first time in 4 years, she's able to paint again. She says, David, thank you. So she praises the Lord over and over, which is wonderful. And she says, David, thank you. The Cellercise give me a new lease on life. She's one of many. I don't know what your issues are, but I do know one thing. And I really fervently believe this. If your cells are stronger and healthier and working more efficiently, your body parts and functions will as well. So, weight loss, simple. Want to open up the bronchial tubes and lungs? Let me show you one I designed here for that. And listen to my voice, because my voice is going to change. If you're a radio announcer or you like to sing, diaphragmatic breathing and an open larynx is extremely important. Most people don't get enough oxygen to the other 1/3 of the lung. So this is an exercise I designed. It goes like this. You don't do a lot of it, because if you did a lot of it, you'd get pretty dizzy. But it opens everything up. And that pumping action also activates the lymph system all throughout the chest cavity area. So it's phenomenal. I've had singers come up on stage and they'll sing, and then I'll have them do this. They'll sing again, and they'll say, wow, I feel the difference. And the audience will go, wow, we hear the difference. So it literally does. It does work beautifully. All right, is there anything else that any of you have as far as interest for your own physical health? Yes?
I have a whole ton, but, well, you kind of touched on it, but adrenal fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, severe adrenal fatigue.
Yeah. This gentle movement right here is stimulating adrenals, opening up oxygen, stimulating the entire endocrine system as well. And then you want to feed the body good nutrients, which is, of course, is the Q96. That's a salad bar of nutrients you make available to the cells every day, which is important. We eat people food. That's what tastes good to us. But we're in a partnership relationship with this body. And the cells have to put up with the people food. But we ought to turn the menu over to the cells every day. Allow them to choose what they need. We don't know what it is. They do. You give them Q96, it literally represents a smorgasbord of nutrients every day that the cells can utilize. They go after the nutrients. That's how they maintain the structure, integrity, and function of the body. The Cellercise helps the body utilize those nutrients more effectively. If you don't have weight-bearing exercise, your body doesn't use the minerals for increasing bone density. So they say aerobic impacts for us. Now, you need weight-bearing. You don't need impact. Okay, impact can be damaging. This is a DVD that we have as a tool. It's available to everybody. This tool has a personal trainer drop-down menu in it. In that menu, it teaches you specifics. You want to do the natural facelift? How do you get your skin cells to firm up? How do you do that? How do you get a skin cell to do a push-up? You have to put it under weight. How do you do that? Use Cellercise. It's weight-bearing on everything. And so what you do, this is one that I do, and it looks a little funny, but it works. You hold on to the balance bar, or if you need for balance, but while you're doing your routine, you make this little fish face and flare out the nose. So it helps to reduce the lines right here. But it looks like this. Okay, I can't do it if I laugh. And then Cellercise. And what you're doing is you have these muscles tighten up, and then the skin and the collagen, because it's weight bearing, they firm up. It's when cells get weak, they sag. When you put them under weight, they become more resistant to the weight. So techniques like that and many more are on the DVD. It trains you, it teaches you the different things that we can do on the Cellercise, and it's phenomenal.
Is that a new one?
No, that's the one that you should have. You should have that. There's other movements that you can do on the Cellerciser as well. Women who want to target, and men, the lower abdomen, if it's weak there, they're not going to want to be bouncing up and down very high. The bladder control, sphincter muscle, it's a muscle. How do you build a muscle? You put it under weight over and over, and the muscle gets bigger and stronger. So if you're dealing with incontinence type issues, if you tighten, which is a Kegel method, and then you bounce, which is weight bearing, is going to be toning and tightening and building that muscle as well. So you can start off, if you don't want to jump up and down like this, this is a great one, especially for women shortly after they've had a baby. And consult always with your doctor before you do any exercise program, but we want you to have a good result. But this one here helps promote contractions and lift, tighten, and tone the inside as well. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but I'm sitting down on the Cellerciser. I put my hands next to my hips on the mat to help support my back, and you start to bounce up and down like this. As I'm bouncing up and down, I take away my hands, and the only reason I'm still bouncing is because of all the stomach muscles. As you continue to get stronger, you can lift up one leg. It leverages the weight right there in the lower abdomen where everybody wants to work. When you get tired, lift up the other leg. As you become stronger, you lift up both legs and bounce a little higher. This all being done right here with the stomach muscles. Or go cheek to cheek, and now you're working the obliques, both sides of the stomach wall, and there's other movements in addition to that. But I talk about how to build up muscle mass, tightening, toning, of course, weight loss, digestion, elimination. But keep in mind, again, with Cellercise, it's weight bearing on every single cell of your body. Everything, over 100 times a minute. Now people say, how can you do it in 10 minutes? And I answer, well, let's think about it. If we were doing the old-fashioned or current methodology of exercise, if we took 20, 30, or 40% more weight and we increased it to this muscle 100 times a minute, and we did it for 10 solid minutes, nobody's going to argue that's a great exercise for that muscle if you could do it. But now you got to do the other one and all the other body parts. Who has time for that today? And it's not in a balanced state either. You're always off balance when you're doing that, and that's typical exercise. But when I stand on a Cellerciser, right now I weigh about 160 pounds. I bounce this high, I now weigh closer to 200 pounds. I'm putting that increase of weight not just here, but on the entire musculoskeletal system. It opens up blood vessels. It opens up arteries. It helps with backflush valves to help clean them out. Very important every day. Okay, Kim, can we have you come back up? We're going to do a little demonstration. This is, if the light hasn't gone on yet, it will in a moment for all those watching. Okay, I want you to take your feet, Kim,
Okay.
spread them apart a little bit. Take a good strong horse stance.
Okay.
All right, take your hands, put them in front like that. Elbows in your side, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down on your hands. And I want you to resist me without moving. Have you ever done this before?
You did it to me.
You did it. Have you been on a Cellerciser tonight?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
All right, okay.
She just got back from Germany.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. That's a good. All right. I'm going to push down. I want you to resist, and you be aware of how hard I'm pushing and how well you can resist.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Resist. Now, as I push down,
Yeah.
you came that little step
Yeah.
forward. It's pretty good, but that little step forward. Those are generally considered imbalances within the body. And a podiatrist often will give you a foot insert to help counteract that. But that's just a Band-Aid. And nothing against it. Sometimes people need these things. But muscles, bones, and ligaments also can move. They want to move if we give them the ability to move. We wear shoes. Shoes are often not flexible, and the body loses its flexibility. The Cellerciser, I always do it in socks or bare feet or soft-soled slipper so that the foot can start to move and become more flexible again. But let's take the same position
Okay.
again and just be aware of your strength as well as your balance now. Okay, ready? Okay. You resist, and I'm just going to push down, and you're coming right forward. Okay, now, come up on the Cellerciser. No, you don't need to.
All right.
All right, now, I hope people will begin to, I want to revolutionize exercise. I'm not satisfied with the current methodology, and I hope you're not either, because it's always limited. You are generally, you have to do an isometric, an isotonic, calisthenic, aerobic, or a flexibility program. You have to target all these different muscle groups and body parts, and it takes a long amount of time to get to all these areas. Watch this. Kim, take your hands. I want you to put them up on the trapezius muscles up here. Grab them with your fingertips. Hold on to the muscle. Now bounce up and down. Keep going. And can you feel those muscles expanding and contracting with weight on them?
Yep.
At that height, Kim's taking about 10 to 15 to 20% of her body weight, putting it on top of her. She's doing over 100 of these a minute. But instead of pushing the weight away from gravity over and over, she's increasing the weight of gravity over and over. She doesn't want to get shorter because of all the weight, and she won't. But the body will adapt to the increased weight by becoming stronger. These are the muscles right here that help hold up our posture. When those muscles go, guess what the shoulders do? They go too, and the back can't support itself, never could. It's supported by the muscles. We want these muscles to be strong and healthy. It also is an area where we get a lot of stress and tension. This helps to open up circulation to that area. Okay, Kim, take and grab the deltoids here with your fingertips. Squeeze them with your fingers. Quite a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get that in your normal day-to-day activity. And then I show different movements that you can do. So if you have shoulder issues, it can help open up the whole shoulder area. And it's generally significant results within a week to 2 weeks. It's amazing when you're doing these movements. Okay, now grab the biceps with your fingertips. Squeeze the muscle, bounce up and down. People say, how do you build up a muscle or a bicep jumping on it down on a Cellerciser? I said, put more weight on it. Yeah, but how do you do it Cellerciser? It's weight bearing. It's not even, can you feel it?
I totally feel this.
Yeah, it's all weight bearing. It's either going to flop to the bottom of the mat or it's going to have to firm up. Cells don't care where weight comes from. It doesn't care how sophisticated the equipment is. It's all weight bearing, period. That's all it is. Now take your hands, Kim, put them around your waist, dig into the stomach muscles with your fingertips. Squeeze the muscles. Can you feel them flexing?
Yeah.
This is a light bulb going on, guys. This is too easy. And it was. I used to wake up at night thinking, this is too easy. And I'd go out on the Cellerciser and I'd start kicking out again because I didn't want to lose my stomach muscles. They came back. It was too easy. It's too easy. It's not. It works. It really works. All right. Now, is Kim favoring one side of the body over the other? Isn't that interesting? She's moving up and down equally. And as she's moving up and down, if her hips are out of alignment a little bit, but she's moving up and down equally, guess what the hips start to do? They start to balance out. Muscles start to move. Ligaments start to move. The body starts to become more balanced. The implications of that, if you're involved with any athletic activity, whether it's dance, whether it's golf, whether it's baseball, whether it's tennis, whether it's football or basketball, it doesn't matter. Soccer, if you want to have a better experience, yoga, you want to have a better experience, Cellercise. Watch this. Okay, she's moving up and down. You're giving yourself a natural facelift. You can feel the weight on the muscles, they become firmer. Internal organs moving up and down. Everything is working collectively. Now let's step back down, Kim. We're going to take the same position. All right? Now, I'm going to push down just like I did last time. And you're going to tell us whether you notice any difference in your strength and balance now. Okay? All right. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Resist.
Holy crap.
Totally balanced.
I did yoga. That's crazy. Oh my
Thank
God.
you, guys. Thank you. You will have, I guarantee you, you will have a better yoga experience when you Cellercise first. You're balanced. The average person is not. 99% of everybody plus that I have checked on that strength and balance test, they failed it. They failed it. You want to do another routine?
Yeah.
Come on up for a second. We have time to do this. All right, we're just almost done. But I'm gonna illustrate what thank you. We'll be done about 5, Gentry.
This is cool.
It is cool, isn't it?
It's really cool.
What if you could look at your blood, and we're gonna do this test again. You could look at your blood underneath the microscope when you first wake up in the morning. With most people that have sticky blood cells, they're not circulating very well. They're not in a very good condition at that point as well. You get on a Cellerciser for 3 to 5 minutes, and you look at your blood cells again. They're separated, oxygenated, and energized. They're flowing freely through the body. You would never not do this. This is the best wake-up call that you can give your body. Your thyroid, your adrenals, your endocrine system, liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, pineal gland, brain activity. It's all being stimulated collectively together. Over 100 times a minute. Okay, so what Kim and I are going to do is we're going to jump up and down on the ground for 20 seconds. Somebody want to time us? And this illustrates what an aerobic impact sport does. An aerobic impact sport creates a jarring effect. The jarring effect causes the muscles and the nervous system, it shatters the nervous system, causing the muscles to tense up. So if you have natural imbalances in the body, it's going to expose them all very quickly. So let's, thanks, honey. Ready? Go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Close?
Stop.
Okay. All right. Take the same position again.
Okay.
And, all right. Might spread your feet out a little bit more. It gives you a stronger position.
Come on, man, bring it on.
All right, here we go. We're going to see. Okay, and I'm going to push straight down. You resist.
All right,
Ready?
go.
Okay, resist. As I push down, comes right over. Try as hard
I'm
as
gonna
you
do
can.
this again.
Hold it
Stay
up.
upright.
Okay. You can do
She
it.
reminds me of the yoga instructor that is on the DVD in front of 2,000 people who was exactly the same, and I loved it. She's one of our customers now, but watch this. Okay,
All right.
ready?
Mhm.
Okay,
Hold it up.
resist. Now as I
Okay.
push down. All right, she notices the difference in her strength and balance. Come on up here.
Man.
Come on up on this again.
All right.
And just start to bounce them down. Now, I did this right alongside of her. I was hitting a hard surface just like her. So, come on up and I want you to test me and just push down on my hands and just see the difference. Go ahead. See the difference? Balance. The reason is I Cellercise every day. And in about a month and a half, we found out through our, who's the doctor up in Logan? Dr. White. Dr. White in Logan. I didn't know he'd been Cellercising, so I brought him up to do this strength and test. It wouldn't work on him. And I kept doing it, and he said, okay, well, you're one of those rare people. And then he confessed, he said, I've been Cellercising for a month and a half. But when you exercise in a balanced state, you become strong in a balanced state. It takes a little bit of time. And then you hit a hard surface, it doesn't matter anymore. Your body's already balanced. It's already strong in that balanced state. Right now, we just put her in a balanced state. But to get strength in that, it just takes a little bit of time. But again, think of what the implications are with any athletic team. I took a wrestler, trained him on the Cellercise, went on to win state. took a basketball team, trained them on the Cellerciser. I know it wasn't just because of the Cellerciser, but they went on to win state. That's Manti, Utah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've only done it twice. I don't want to, mess up my
Keep that record.
Keep that record going. Okay, let's step back down. All right. Don't grab it from the middle. All right, take the same position. Okay, we're going to try again. You notice it doesn't either. Okay, ready? Okay, resist.
That's awesome.
Is that cool?
That is
Thank
so
you.
cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I suggest if your body could communicate with you in a language that we understand, because it's always trying to communicate with us, but in a language we understood, I suggest that you'd wake up every morning, walk into the bathroom, look in front of the mirror, and on your forehead it would read, "Please shake well before using." Thank you. Are there any questions that I can answer? Is it? Yes, yes.
I have two. Did you used to have a reach out?
Yeah.
Or
I was an average looking insurance agent. I normally bring my pictures, but I ran out this morning and I forgot my Cellercise and pictures.